Donovan, coming off a win like last week, how do you compartmentalize that and build from it going into Texas?
Really just use it as motivation, use it as confidence boosters, really. And we were just excited to get that win and just going into this game, it was a big emphasis on just focusing back up on what we need to do because we have a great opportunity this week coming up. So just being able to handle success is really what we've been preaching around here, and that's just what we got to do coming into this week.
Do you see yourself as improving?
Yeah, I feel like myself improving as well as the whole offense in general has been improving compared to the first game, playing against UTSA. Just watching film and breaking down my film and how I was doing and finding reads, getting through my first read to my second read to my third read and even my fourth read if I needed to. But I definitely feel like each game I've been improving in different ways and different aspects of my game, which has helped the offense. And then just in general, everyone's just been improving since the first game as well.
Different year, different team out, Donovan, but it's still playing Texas.
Mm-hmm.
What did you take from that one? And being a guy that moved to Texas, I mean, you sort of know the history of what that program probably means to other schools in the state.
Yeah, they're a great team like always. Last year they were a great team too. This year they're a great team. And just understanding, we're just going to watch film and just base everything off of the film we see. Trying to take the logo off the helmet and just play a game. Like we said, it's just another game. So don't really try to make it bigger than it is. And then just go play. That's at the end of the day, it's a football game. We're all here to play football, and it's just like we were when we were little kids. Just bigger field, bigger stage, and just bigger dudes.
In the game, do you understand that you're 8 for 8, 10 for 10, 13 for 13? Is that something that you even are aware of?
No, not at all. Like I didn't even know until like 2 hours after, listening to the live commentary about going 15 for 15 or whatever it was. But no, in the games, I'm just playing, trying to get the ball down the field, get into the end zone, and just win the game.
But you were feeling better and better as the game went
Yeah, for sure. I definitely felt momentum, and I felt myself getting into a groove, I guess you'd say, like getting in the zone with the throws. So I guess I was in the zone going for 15 for 15, so it felt pretty good.
Sam Brown had that catch first, and then before that he had that block sort of for Manjack. I mean, what do you see from him and his maturity this year, things like that?
Yeah, he's been really good. He's been a great performer every game, and sometimes he may have not had like the most yards coming into this game, but like you said, that block was a major block to get a touchdown, and then it's kind of like you do your deed, block for your teammate. Here you go, you get a touchdown too. So he's been very good at just about being a team player, just relaxing, being ready for when the ball comes to him. I don't know how many times we targeted him, but I know the ball came to him in the end zone. He had an opportunity, he made a play. So he's just been doing very good. I'm expecting all my wide receivers to have a really good game this game. So I'm excited for it and to see how everybody's going to play.
Donovan, you're around your receivers quite a bit. What is about Boogie? I mean, just we're trying to learn about this guy. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of. Is it just quiet? Is he? Is there anything that jumps out when you first met him?
Yeah, no, he's definitely outgoing dude, kind of a goofy dude a little bit, but he's just a team player. He loves to be around everybody. We all crack jokes around each other, hit some freestyles every now and then and stuff like that. But he's a great dude to be around. He definitely brings a lot of energy to the team and a lot of energy to the wide receiver room. And I feel like it fits in perfectly because the whole wide receiver room is like that. If you see Boogie, that's kind of how everybody else acts in that wide receiver room, and they all complement each other very well.
The Texas defense, when you look at it, up front they're big, and Jalen Ford, anything sort of stick out, jump out to you?
Yeah, they're just all really good dudes, really good players, sound, and they play fast. That's something that you really see on film, just watching every team they play. They come downhill and they just try to hit you, make plays, and be physical up front. Like you said, they got those big guys up front. So just a really good all-around team.
Have you noticed the difference in sort of how, Texas Tech playing against Texas is a big game there? I mean, what have you noticed just playing now, coming up against Texas here with sort of the atmosphere, the thing, what campus is like, things like that?
Yeah, I feel like anywhere you go, really, you have certain teams that come into town, and it gets a little bit more buzz than usual than other games. So it kind of just like goes around whatever school you're at. This is kind of how it's going to be. A little more buzz around the town, a little more excitement around the city as well. So it's kind of like the same everywhere. Just any big game you have at any school. It doesn't have to be Texas. Just any big game you have. A little bit more buzz, a little bit more excitement around the city. That's really what it is.
Now that you've been on campus quite a while, usually after a big win or something weird will happen in class, you walk. Have you had any of those experiences since you've gotten to?
Nah.
Just people, hey, you're Donovan, or hey, that pass or something like that.
Yeah, no, not really. Sometimes I have all online classes, so I don't really got to worry. Yeah, I don't really got to worry about that. But nothing really. After the game, I kind of just went home, chilled with my mom. So nothing too crazy.
Tell me about Ali and your relationship with him.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's hilarious. He's kind of like he's a real laid back dude. If you don't really talk to him a lot, you'll probably just see like he's just a regular chill guy. But he does talk a lot. He hangs out with us all the time. He was hanging out with us last week. He's a really cool dude. He's down to earth. We all like being around him. He likes being around us. So he's a great guy to be around. Can you spell his first name? No, I actually can't. I got it saved in my phone as like how you say oui in was that French? Yeah, something like that. That's how I spelled it. But I don't really know how to spell his real first name. He told us his whole real name before, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna call you Uwe. Yeah.
The younger guys, the receivers, have you had much interaction? I know you prepare for game week, and you've got the guys that are going to play, but like Jonah and Mikhail, have you had much interaction with them? And sort of, do you sort of, I don't know if you have to motivate them, hey, just your time will come, that kind of stuff.
For the most part, those dudes are self-motivated, Jonah and Michael, they always come up to me saying, I'm going to be open. Just, hey, if I'm in the game, just throw it to me. I'm going to make a play. So they're really self-motivated. I talk to them every day. Jonah, he's on my locker aisle. Michael, I'm always messing with him. So they're every young wide receiver in Jacoby Banks, they're just all motivated dudes. They're ready for their time to shine, ready to get in when they need to. So they've been handling everything very well, and I'm excited to see them out on the field as well.
What about that last play? Just setting it up, when you go back and look at it, is that the way you guys designed it, or did you see something there?
Well, it's designed to get the ball in the end zone and give somebody a chance to go up and get it, and it ended up working out, so it ended up working.
Is there glory in being the jumper, the guy that tips it?
When it works, yeah.
Did you sense, they had, I think it was 3 guys around you, and everybody's going up. Did you, from our angle, it looked like your left hand or something tipped it? Is that sort of, did you see the guys around you that was the move that you were going to have to make, or you were going to have to tip it?
I just went up and tried to do what I could for the team, and ended up hitting me and bouncing on the bug, and the rest was history.
When you scored your touchdown, you caught it, you slipped a guy, and you obviously saw Sam Brown blocking downfield for you, blocking that guy into the end zone, and you go straight up to him. What do you say to a guy like that at that moment?
Thank you. Just yelled thank you to a bunch of times, and I said, let's go, let's get after it.
What are you improving on in your game as the season goes on?
Just working hard every day, every aspect, whether it's catching the ball or lining up in my splits correctly. Just every single thing, every single aspect. Nothing specific, just everything in general.
Chris, have you seen an improvement in Donovan in the last few weeks? In terms of how, like he mentioned, he felt like he was in the zone that last game.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that maybe the last 2 or 3 games?
He works his tail off, so when you practice as hard as guys like him, it shows up in the game for him. So I'll say he's getting comfortable and he's doing his job pretty well. So he's only going to get better.
You're a Houston guy, and you Texas football, everything. When you look at the opponent this week, is this about as big as we get to Texas in terms of when you play a game, when you face off. I mean, you were in the Pac-12 though, so I mean, you've had some other moments. But I mean, it's just sort of as a kid, did you have any Texas Longhorn interactions or anything like that?
Well, of course, everybody from Texas somewhat has people that love either A&M, Texas, all the other Baylors, you know, all the other schools, U of H. And so growing up as a kid, you know, UT was cool to watch, but now you're playing against them. It's just another team, so you got to get out there and go to work.
They recruit you?
They talked to me a little bit.
What about the atmosphere? I mean, this is already a sellout. You guys haven't had one of these in a while. As a player, is that sort of what you look for on Saturdays?
It's exciting. It's going to be cool to see all the fans out there. Just got to go out there, execute, and do our job at the end of the day.
Couple more.
What if you, you know, we talk about just the play on Boogie, but just him in general, you know, what's he like, you know, in the meeting room?
He's a good dude. He's a good character, and he works hard. So he's a good teammate to be around, and I enjoy spending time with him.
Did the excitement in the locker room after, did it feel like maybe, you know, you guys could take after those two tough ones, Texas Tech and TCU, did y'all feel like this could be a game that maybe gives y'all a spark?
To me, it just felt unreal in the moment, and I was just enjoying the moment. You know, you got to get over a loss or win the next day, so I was really too worried about going on a run because you have to go out there and do your job, whether you lost the previous game or won it. So it just felt good to get a win, enjoyed it for the time being, but now we're on to the next.
Could y'all feel a little bit different in the second half? I mean, Dana had mentioned that, you know, you guys have gotten worn out, maybe not just the receiver, but just in general, the team. And then it looked like there was a little bit more extra juice there in the second half. Was it different this game compared to the other ones?
I mean, we pulled out a win, and it took all 4 quarters, so it seems like we did something right.
Feel pretty good. That was an exciting one right there. So
Is that
a lot of emotions.
I know Dana sort of downplayed the importance last week, but we all know that there's about 17 of y'all that had ties to West Virginia. Was it about what you thought you'd feel?
Yeah, it
Walk
was.
off the field?
I mean, you couldn't expect an ending like that, you know. But it was definitely emotional, you know, the whole way through. Pretty sure it's 4 or 5 players that played under that coaching staff, and obviously our coaching staff being at West Virginia previously. A lot of emotions. Everyone kind of knows that state and kind of what they bring to the table as a fan base and as a program. But, you know, we were just focused on ball, trying to, you know, play through all 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams, and try and focus on that more than anything because, you know, the emotions can get the best of you in those situations. So
What was your
fun.
view of that last play? Where were you?
I was all the way down on the other end, the opposite end zone, just kind of standing over there. I was trying not to look. It was just so emotional for me.
So you weren't in the game?
No, I wasn't in the game. I was
You
off on
were
the
all the way
sideline.
down.
Yep. So
You just, was it a matter of the whole student section just rushed past you and that's sort of how you?
yeah, it was kind of quiet for a minute, and it was a little chaotic right after that. So I was trying to figure out what was going on, and then I saw everyone rush to the corner of the end zone, and the whole sideline cleared, and I was just amazed. Honestly, I was like, I couldn't believe it. But you know, just a great effort from Manjack to go up and kind of tip it and get the jump started, get the jump ball started, and then you know that's something we practice. So Boogie was right there. He was aware. He stayed on his feet, and he just made a great play. So it was awesome.
So you were looking away?
I wasn't necessarily looking away, but I was kind of just tuckered away. I didn't really want to look. It was just, you know, it was a lot of emotions up and down, you know, roller coaster. 12 seconds left, they score. You're not really expecting to get a shot, and then there's a penalty, and you know we're moved up a little bit, so maybe there is a chance to get one last shot in the end zone. And you know, once Donnie rolled out, I'm like, don't get sacked. So it was just a lot to process in a moment. And you know, when the ball was in the air, it was just suspense. And then when he caught it, it was amazing.
Can a game like that change the direction of a season, or maybe lift the spirit? You know,
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you feel that? You know,
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
last couple days?
Yeah, it's definitely a game like that can really, bring a lot of positive morale to the team, bring confidence, because I feel like we did play in all three phases of the game, and we really harped on that the past few weeks. Something we struggled with early on in the season. So just to see that, and even though we did let up at the end there, and they scored a touchdown, close to the end, it's obviously not what we're looking for, and we'll get that fixed here this week and moving forward. But to just have faith in our guys and have confidence in our coaching staff to make the right calls and for guys to execute plays and then finish with a win, that's always what you want, and I think that brings a lot to the program at this point.
The 4th and 10 that West Virginia ran, scored the touchdown on. Did you have any friends that were on the field at that point?
Yeah, I had a lot on the field at that point. The O-line, the quarterback, Garrett Green, good friend of mine, great competitor, fiery guy. He had a great game, all game, I thought. So, it's bittersweet seeing guys that succeed, but when it's against you, it's not good. So, we were just excited to get the win.
I don't know if you saw, but McAfee went on his show. It was like crazy this week that they didn't have it's like a 6'7" tight end, and I'm sure you know who that.
Cole Taylor.
But yeah, just in those situations, I mean, seems like an ideal deal. I mean, did you, the way they set up, did you sort of have an idea of how this thing could maybe play out, just how they would defend it since you've been on that other side? Yeah,
I didn't. They've done that in the past where they put a tall receiver, a tight end in at the end of the game, just another tall, lengthy body, to be back there. But, I wasn't really expecting it, and, that's obviously up to them. That's their call. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did do it,
When you were at West Virginia, you probably met a really young Sam Brown at the time. I mean probably his freshman year.
Yeah.
What do you remember about him, and then sort of to this day, what sort of maybe the change and what you see in him? Yeah, Sam's. I mean, when anyone's a freshman, they're a little immature. I know I was. It's tough when you're 18 and 19, but he's always had great ability to go catch the ball, high point balls, speed, getting out of breaks. He's always been a super talented guy, even when he was at Dovey, and they recognized that. But he's really come into his own here, and he's shown some leadership. He kind of calms down that wide receiver room and shows poise. And in big moments, he's always looking for the ball. He's looking to make a big play. And I think that's important from a receiving core, whether you're a young guy or an old guy. Being hungry for the ball is something that's instinctive, and he's got that.
How would you assess the tight ends this year?
I think it's been, we have a young room. I'm the old guy, obviously, 6-year guy. But guys have been developing ever since they got in this program. Just watching tape from last year and stuff to see where the room was at when I got here. Guys have made huge strides. Matt Burns, he's made huge strides. Eddie Henry, Logan Compton. I mean, these guys all want to play. They want to get in there in certain sets, certain personnels. But just focusing on having a physical room and bringing a dominant presence in the run game in that aspect, I think that can really help us open us up for the pass game and all sorts of stuff like that. So, it's a week-by-week thing, and, I think these guys have gotten better every chance they've gotten the opportunity to prove it.
So when you came here, you knew some of the West Virginia guys, but you didn't know Corby Meekins, right?
Correct, yeah.
So how did you and him sort of come together at the beginning?
Corby, Coach Meekins, he's an awesome dude. I mean, I didn't really know anything about him, or I'd never met him before I came down here. So just getting a chance to sit down with him and just talk football and, talk about the past of where he's been and what he's done, just to get to know him a little bit better. Obviously a great coach, great football mind. Really, really fun to talk to, especially in football scenarios. Knows a lot about the game. But yeah, just being able to sit down and just, kind of just be cool with him. We went and got lunch when I got here the first time. We went to Pinkerton's, you know, sat down, had some barbecue. So that was nice, but yeah, he's elevated my game mentally a lot, you know, just looking at defenses and trying to figure out what they're doing and how that can help us and offensively. That's been, you know, a major thing for me so far.
Like you played Texas before.
Mhm.
Is that sort of, now that you've been at two Big 12 schools, is that sort of them and OU? Is that the, when y'all look at opponents, is it the one that sort of maybe raises the juice level?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely Oklahoma and Texas. You know, they're obviously great programs with a lot of history and tradition. But, you know, they put on their pants like we put on our pants. So that's something to always remember going on to play these guys. They've done great things this year. Texas has. And, you know, they do have a pretty complete team. You know, they're comfortable with their identity and stuff like that. So, you know, we're going to have to get to work here this week.
When you're watching film as a tight end, what exactly are you looking for?
Defensively, just looking at, you know, what they're playing, what they're in most of the time. But you can also pick up on tendencies of guys, you know, whether that's a D-end, a linebacker, a safety, a nickel. Just little tendencies they have that maybe tell you where their first step's going or what they're trying to do as a unit. And then obviously looking at ourselves, we also like to go back and be self-critical about, you know, our steps and our routes and what we're doing. That's all really important, especially in an offensive game plan, to be on point with those things as well.
Mike, since it had been a while since we talked to you, the spring and the plan that you guys had for you, did you feel as good as you had in a long time coming out of the spring health-wise? And has there been a plan for you throughout the season in terms of practice and how you sort of wanted to approach week to week?
Yeah, I felt pretty good coming out of, you know, spring, fall camp. I only got about a month before the season to kind of ramp up into football gear, but yeah, the body's held up. I feel great. There's really been no issues with it, and you know, if we have to make adjustments, coaches can make adjustments. It's not, you know, it's something we just got to communicate about, but you know, it's been good so far, smooth sailing.
Consider that it was West Virginia this past week. Did that stuff go through your mind a little bit? That, like, here, you know, that was a big part of who you were and
Yeah.
what you endured, and then you have a new home on this end where everything's sort of, I don't want to say full circle, but I mean, it's been part of your journey.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a fresh start here, but obviously I have a lot. You know, I was in Morgantown for 5 years. That's kind of where you go from a boy to a man, right? Those years are really important. So, you know, I love what that state's done for me and what that program's done for me, and I'll forever be grateful for that. But I really appreciate the new, fresh start I've gotten here, the opportunity here as well with new teammates, new coaches. Well, old and new coaches, I guess, but yeah, it's been nice.
One or two more.
You were there, and were you with Dana at the 18 game?
I was, yeah.
So you would have been, what, a freshman? Or?
I was a freshman, yeah.
So
Freshman
the whole,
at 18.
Let's go for two. I mean, do you remember I guess when it happened and then the after the big win there? And
Yeah, I was actually hurt, so I didn't make the trip in that game, the Texas game. But yeah, you can kind of tell the energy of the team, and that was the type of team we had back in 18 under Dana, and that was a special time. Go for two. You want to go for two? Yeah, let's go for two, and then to make it happen was special. But it was awesome watching that game.